All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. I'm so happy to have you here with me tonight. Welcome. I'm April Ashcroft, and this is Health for Life Cooking, the healing power of plant foods. And there truly is healing power in plant foods, and it just gets me so excited. And I love to share the things that I've learned over the last 30 years about the healing power in these foods. When we consume a large amount of plant foods, you're literally flooding your body with thousands of micronutrients and phytochemicals that activate your self-healing, self-repair mechanism. Our body wants to be healthy. It's always striving for health, for proper balance. But we've got to give them the right material. We got to step aside, let our bodies do the work, and just feed it what it needs. And it's in these plant foods. There's, like I say, there's thousands of micronutrients in these foods, and the more that we get into our body, the healthier we're going to be. I don't necessarily preach vegan or vegetarian or raw food or anything like that. I just push plant foods. The more, the better, okay? And tonight, I'm going to be doing a couple of fairly easy recipes. I don't know how quick they are. I guess it depends on the person and how fast a chopper you are. But I encourage people to be okay and take the time to get in your kitchen and spend a little bit of time. We can't, if we want good health, the best things in life you have to work for, right? And one of the most important things in life is our health. When we're sick in bed, you know, with a cold or a flu, or worse yet, a broken leg or heart disease, you know, or something like that, the most important thing to us is, and it's almost consuming, I think. I know when I'm sick, the only thing I want to do is just get better. And I do everything I can to get better as fast as I can. And if we try to prevent those things from happening in the first place, we're going to be much better off. Come on in, ladies. So I hope when you leave tonight that you're motivated to kick up the plant foods wherever you're at in your dietary regimen. If you're 100% hardcore, whole food, plant-based, vegan, great. If you're not, just take it a little step further, because the closer you get to that, whether you go 100% or not, the closer you get to that, the better off you're going to be. So anyway, back to spending time in the kitchen. I'm going to do two recipes tonight that are fairly simple. I had a gal call me about a month ago, and she was so discouraged. She had been coming to my classes and was excited to change, but she had been so discouraged, and she goes to the store and she's just so frustrated, and she's asking me, do you have any quick, simple recipes? Because sometimes my recipes are a little bit lengthy, and you have to blend a sauce and put it over it, and there's a few steps to it. And it kind of got me motivated to really try to do some more simple things that are a little bit quicker and easier. So that's these two recipes tonight, the chili and the lentil dal. And then I'm going to do a salad dressing. I like to do a salad dressing in most of my classes just to demonstrate, because a salad is one of the best things that you can do for your health, eating a big leafy green salad every day. So I like to show a salad dressing, and then we're going to do a dessert, because I firmly believe that dessert can be can be a part of a healthy, whole food, plant-based diet. So we'll do that in a jiffy, but we're going to go ahead and get started on our chili. Who has been to my class before? Okay, so about half of you probably. Well, welcome back. That's a good sign when people come back. So, all right. And my help in the kitchen tonight is Jen. She's going to kind of try to keep me insane and keep my dishes clean so we don't have a mess by the time we're done. And she's going to help do some serving tonight too. So, oops. Okay. So I'm just going to heat up my burner here on medium high. Let's see. And I'm going to start off with an onion. I use onions pretty much in everything I'm cooking. And they have organosulfur compounds. Those of you who have been here before, hear me talk about these. They're powerful against cancer. When you chop open that onion, the floodgates open in our eyes, right? Those tears start coming, it starts burning. Those are good. Those are good compounds. They are powerful against cancer. All your allium vegetables, which are your onion and leek and scallion, garlic, they all have those organosulfur compounds. And a large population study in Europe involving 10 countries showed that people who eat the most onions had the least cancers of all types. So we want to get onions in every day. Raw and cooked are good. You lose some of the properties in cooked, so you want to do some raw. And I love to chop up some green scallions and just throw them on top of whatever it is that I'm having that's cooked. I don't have them tonight, but like for the chili, for instance, sprinkle on a few green scallions on top just to add that raw compounds. I've got a strong family history of cancer. Both my parents died of cancer, so I'm really attracted to the research on cancer and am fascinated by it because it really, we have so much control. I mean, genetics plays a tiny little part. One of my favorite nutrition experts, she says genetics is the loaded gun and diet and lifestyle pulls the trigger. So it's up to our diet and lifestyle, what we choose to do, that's going to pull that trigger for cancer, heart disease, diabetes, really any type of disease. Okay, so I've got my pan here. I don't have any oil or anything in it. I never use any oil ever to cook with. Oil is 120 calories of pure 100% fat, the highest calorie, lowest nutrients that we consume, and it increases risk of heart attack, not decreases. It also increases risk of cancer and diabetes. Yes, olive oil, yes, even coconut oil. What it does is it coats the lining of your arteries that contain endothelial cells that produce nitric oxide, and nitric oxide keeps your blood vessels non-stick, like Teflon. We want that nitric oxide production, and when you eat a meal that's high in olive oil or it has olive oil in it, it slows down that nitric oxide production. In fact, sometimes it just shuts it right off. And you really don't need it. When I first heard Dr. Esselstyn, who is the director of preventive cardiology at the Cleveland Clinic, I heard him talk in Expo in Las Vegas when I first kind of got wind of this whole no oil thing, because I was using oil products, Earth Balance Buttery Spread and Vegenaise and olive oil. I was cooking with it, and I had kind of got wind of this olive oil or the oil thing, and my husband's cholesterol was 100 or 260, and eating a 90% plant-based diet for like 10 years, and we're going, what the heck's wrong, you know? It's the oil. So we decided to give it a try and get it out of our diet, and he dropped his cholesterol 50 points in 6 weeks. So we were pretty convinced, and that's when the bottle of olive oil went in the garbage. And if you look at the side of the bottle of olive oil and look at the nutrient label, which I hope you're all looking at labels, you'll see that there's really no nutrients in it. It's 100% fat. And one of my favorite nutrition doctor, he says, from your lips to your hips is where it goes. When oil comes in a package, like avocados, nuts, or seeds, those fibers bind those oils to them, and they go right out you into the toilet bowl, a lot of them. And it takes hours for that oil to get in your system. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add 3 cloves of chopped garlic. And I'm just going to stir that around. As you can see, it's still not really sticking. I'm just giving it a good stir and keeping it moving. It's going to start to get brown a little bit. In fact, it already has. And that's just flavor. That browning is just those sugars in the onions starting to caramelize. And then after about a minute, I'm just going to pour on a little bit of water or broth or tamari or cooking wine if you want to use that. Sometimes I'll use, if I'm doing a tomato base like I am tonight, I could take some of these tomatoes and pour off some of the juice in there. But I'm adding water to this anyway because it's a soup. So I'm going to go ahead and just add that water. And if you're hearing this oil thing and questioning it, I encourage you to go to my website, and I've got 4 videos right on the front page. My website is health4lifecooking.com. The 4 is the number 4. I think it's on your recipe sheet. By the way, did you guys all get recipe sheets and handouts? No? There's some up by the door. You can grab some. You can help yourself now, or you can get them after class if you like. But I've got 4 videos on my homepage that talk about no oils. There's 4 doctors that explain it, why they explain it much better than I just did. So I think you'll be convinced. Because that's a tough one to take. Oil? What? We've heard for so long. The Mediterraneans, they dump olive oil on their food, and that's why they're so healthy, right? That's not why they're so healthy. They're healthy because they eat a plant-based diet. Okay, so to this, I'm going to add, let's see, we're going to add our sweet potato. You probably saw me just chopping this sweet potato before I started. This is my favorite kitchen tool right here next to my Vitamix. It makes chopping vegetables so much easier, and when you're chopping a lot of vegetables, which I hope you're all doing, it's a must-have. 20 bucks at Bed Bath & Beyond. If you got a coupon, 16. And they'll take it back if it breaks. Uh-huh. They will. Has yours broke?
No.
Oh.
No, I was wondering where you got that.
Oh. Yeah. Or Amazon. Amazon has them. What's that?
I have just about everything else in the kitchen, but not that.
Gotta have it. Okay, so I've got one medium sweet potato, or actually, yeah, it's the orange sweet potato, yam, whatever. You could use the white, or the off-white ones, the yellowish ones, or whatever. They work as well. So I want to put my most dense vegetables in here first and get them rolling, because they take a little bit longer to cook. And a lot of times, I love sweet potatoes. I love them for breakfast, in fact. And I cook up, every other day, I'll cook up a big cookie sheet full of them. And what you could do is, if you have some already cooked, you can not put them in right now and make this stew cook even quicker, because everything else is super fast cooking. And then at the end, you could cut up your sweet potato in chunks and throw it in, which would be a great thing to do, make things a lot quicker. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit more water to that. And sweet potatoes are so healthy. They're one of the healthiest foods for you. High in micronutrients. They're high in resistant starch, or just starch, carbohydrates anyway. And please don't be afraid of carbohydrates. We need carbohydrates. We need a carbohydrate or starch-based diet for good health. Our body's main source of energy comes from carbohydrates. And I love these in the morning, the sweet potatoes in the morning, because they give me so much energy. I'm just like buzzing with energy in the mornings because they make me feel so good. Oatmeal does the same thing though. I love oatmeal for breakfast. Okay, so to this also, a very important thing is we're going to add greens. And this is the main concept that I want to come across in my classes. Green leafy vegetables are the healthiest foods on the planet. We need to be eating lots more of them. They will reverse and improve on any disease that you've got. They're anti-inflammatory. Cruciferous vegetables in particular have powerful effects against cancer. Studies show that people, when they increase vegetable intake 20%, cancer rates drop 20%. When they increase cruciferous vegetables 20%, cancer rates drop 40%. Men who get 3 servings of cruciferous vegetables a week cut their risk of prostate cancer by like 41%. And women who have a cup of cruciferous, or 1 serving of cruciferous vegetables a day, cut the risk of breast cancer in half. Green leafy vegetables in general reduce inflammation throughout the body, especially in your vascular system. Greens produce that nitric oxide that I told you about that comes through into your arteries, keeping your arteries like Teflon. Green leafy vegetables feed that nitric oxide production. We need to eat lots and lots of greens. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more water to this. And I don't add a whole lot of water. See, I'm doing a soup, but I'm not doing all the water right now because I want these vegetables to cook fairly quickly. And so I'm going to do what I'm going to, here I'm going to add the mushrooms also. With our greens, onions, mushrooms, I'm going to, those are powerful anti-cancer properties as well. In fact, my favorite nutrition expert, Dr. Joel Fuhrman, he's a board-certified family physician from New Jersey, and he's come up with the acronym G-BOMBS. Greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. In fact, there's a handout up there about reversing breast cancer or prevent breast cancer with G-BOMBS. And those are the most powerful foods against cancer. I would say against cancer, heart disease, everything. They have aromatase inhibitors that keep estrogen levels low. Estrogen fuels cancer growth. And our body produces estrogen out of our fat cells, and it's a strong, powerful estrogen that we don't want. We want phytoestrogens that come from foods, plant foods. By the way, animal foods have hormones, all have hormones in them, just like we do. We're an animal, we have hormones in our body. Animals have hormones in them. And those animal hormones, when we eat the meat, we're getting those hormones into our body, and it's throwing our body out of balance as far as hormone goes. So we gotta keep that meat consumption down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put on this lid. I'm going to add just a little bit more water to this. And just let that simmer for a minute while I come over here to my other burner. And we're going to start our lentil dal. Has anybody had dal before? Lentil dal. It's an Indian type dish. I've just kind of gotten into Indian cooking. I really like it. But this is a fairly simple dish. And I'm going to go ahead and add my cumin seeds. I love cumin, and this is just a little bit different. If you don't have seeds, you can use regular powdered cumin and just maybe add it to your lentils when you're cooking them, or to when you're sauteing your onion and garlic or whatever. But I'm going to just add these to the pan right here, my dry pan. And I want that up higher. And we're just going to toast these. How's that rice looking?
It's still a little bit hard.
Oh,
Really
do we need more water in it?
Maybe a little. I just don't want to burn it. It's really fluffy right now. It just needs a little bit.
I'm just going to have a little taste of that rice and see how it's going. I got some brown rice cooking. Yeah, it needs to cook a little bit longer. You want to put just another quarter cup of water in there, and we'll keep it going. Okay, so we're just going to heat these little cumin seeds right there in the pan. I'm having a hard time seeing that. And we don't want to let them burn. Oh, I can smell them. Ah, love the smell of cumin. Okay, while that's going, I'm going to go ahead and chop my onion, because we're going to add an onion to this as well. Oh. You want to give that pan a shake. Don't let your cumin seeds burn. Oh, okay. Yeah, just simmer that. All right, we'll go ahead and chop some more onion. If the food's a little bit sticky, sometimes the food is a little bit sticky, broccoli in particular, it'll bring that plate up, and you just got to kind of pull it down again. Okay, those are smelling pretty good. Sometimes they'll start popping. I don't know why they're not, if it's just not hot enough. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add my onion. That isn't very hot, is it?
That's the bad one, April.
Oh, I keep turning up your rice. Oh dear. Oh, there we go. That's more like it. I don't have gas at home. A gas burner, that is. That was my funny for the day, for the night. Alrighty then. Okay, I'm going to check I'm just going to let those get a little hot. We're going to check our veggies here. One of my favorite websites for nutrition information is nutritionfacts.org. It's Dr. Michael Greger. He puts up a video every other day about the latest in scientific research on food, health, everything. I encourage you to go there and check him out. He does a video about just, he'll talk about, he did a video about what's the best apple. He did one about what's the best green leafy vegetable, what's the best, different types of food. And he did what's the best cooking method. And they tested like 5 different types of cooking: sauteing, boiling, stir fry, microwaving, pressure cooking, just the standard types of cooking. And they found that the nutrient loss in all of those types of cooking were pretty much the same, except for the boiling. Where do you think all the nutrients went in the boiling? In the water. So what's the best way to cook your food? In soup, right? because you're not throwing anything away. You're getting all those nutrients right here. And some nutrients in foods are better absorbed when you cook them. Celery, carrots, beets, they don't lose any nutrients. They just gain. Your body absorbs them better when they're softened. In fact, we eat a lot of raw carrots probably, but really the best way to eat carrots is either juiced, that's another great way, you're getting lots of nutrients with that, or cooked. So don't be afraid to cook your carrots and your beets. Artichokes is another one you don't lose. All right, then we're going to add some garlic to this as well. He also, Dr. Michael Greger on nutritionfacts.org also has a video about the different foods and what cancers they target. So each food, different foods target different types of cancers. So if you want to know about pancreatic cancer, for instance, you can, look that up. Although I think it's just one video where he talks about the different foods and which cancers they target. So he's got lots and lots of videos about cancer. Lots and lots of videos about heart disease. Heart disease is our #1 killer, of course. And according to Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, it's a toothless paper tiger that need never exist. And if it does exist, it need never progress. I mean, they're reversing heart disease with a plant-based diet all the time. That's like boring news now, because it's like people are doing it left and right. Cleaning out your arteries. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn took a group of people and put them on a whole food plant-based diet, and all of them that followed his program opened up their arteries, cleaned out their arteries, and got them flowing again. They didn't have to have bypass surgery. And Dr. Dean Ornish, you're familiar with him, he kind of did the same thing. All right, now we're not going to add really any water to this. I don't have any, this is Teflon, so it's not going to stick. I might end up adding a little bit. But now we're going to add some cabbage. This is a cabbage, red cabbage and lentil dal. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that. And again, we're adding more cruciferous vegetables, more leafy greens. That's the base of like most dishes that I make. We're going to have to add a little bit of water to that. Jen, you want to fill that up with some water when you get a minute. By the way, women who are predisposed to breast cancer, who have that gene, that BRCA gene or whatever, those who eat cabbage on a regular basis cut their risk, I think it's in half. Cut cabbage on a regular basis. I don't know how many times a week or whatever, but so it's those cruciferous compounds that are in there. A little bit more. Now we don't want, last time I made this, I made it a little bit too soupy. We don't want it soupy. We just want to get that cabbage cooked down. So again, I'm going to put the lid on, and we're going to jump back over here. And we're going to test one of our sweet potatoes. See if it's tender. I'm going to go ahead and add my green chilies in. I'm going to add, on your recipe sheet, it says 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of green chilies. So if you've got mild green chilies, you might want to use a whole can of those small cans, These are the 505 brand from Costco. They're medium and they're fairly spicy. So I usually do less, 1/4 cup to a 1/3 cup, or a 1/2 cup if I want more spicy. This is about 1/3 cup. And I think that makes it just about right. I don't want this too spicy. If you do, then you can add more. And that needs just a little bit more cooking.
You want to check the rice one more time? I think it's good. Still
yes.
Just a little tiny bit of a crunch. But
Yeah, that's perfect.
I can turn that
Perfect. Here. So this is just short grain brown rice that's going to go with our lentil dal. And you can use long grain. I like the short grain. It's a little more chewy. Okay, let's see. What else do we want to go in there? I want to let those vegetables get just a little bit more done. By the way, is anybody here gluten sensitive? No. Well, you are, because I brought, what I can do is pull out a little bit without the wheat berries in it. This is wheat berry chili, so I'm using sprouted wheat berries, and what I can do is pull a little bit out, and I've got some quinoa to put on the side, because I usually have some people that can't do gluten or don't do gluten or whatever, so I'm willing to accommodate, because I know can be an issue for some people. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. While these are kind of finishing up, I'm going to go ahead and start my cookies. First, I'm just going to check that just again. Turn that.
Chop your cabbage, or did you throw it through a shredder or mandolin?
I did it through a shredder, like the kind that you grind. Okay. That needs to go down.
Is this the name of your chopping device?
It's the Vidalia Chop Wizard. Like Vidalia onion, Vidalia.
Chopping wizard?
Vidalia Chop Wizard, yep. Okay, so for our cookies, we're going to do the same type of ingredients that we use in our traditional type of cookies. We're going to use a grain, a fat, and a sugar. That's kind of the base of our cookie. So I'm going to go ahead and use some rolled oats, and we are going to process these down just a bit. This is 1.5 cups of just regular rolled oats. And then we need some fat, a little bit of fat in these to give it a nice texture. So I'm going to use about 1/2 cup of walnuts. Whoops. And I've got a batch here. If you can't have nuts, I've got a batch made that I did with hemp seeds, and they should work out really nice. And then we're going to put in our not our sugars yet. We're going to put in some seasoning, our cinnamon and nutmeg and baking powder or baking soda. And then we're just going to put on the lid of the food processor and grind it all up. Now, if you don't have a food processor, but you have a Vitamix, you could try this. You could try it in your Vitamix, because this doesn't get too sticky yet without the dates. When you add the dates, it gets a little bit sticky. So, well, we'll do this first. Yes, I am actually. Thank you. Okay, so that's nice and crumbly. So that would probably work. People, every class I do, they say, will that work in a Vitamix if you don't have a food processor? And I've never tried it, and I need to, so I can answer that question honestly. But I think this would work fine. This part of it would work fine in a blender. And then what you would want to do, because now I'm going to add the sugars to this, and my favorite sugar, or my favorite sweetener, is dates. Dates are a whole food. All the parts of the plant are still there. No processing involved at all, other than I have taken out the pit. You want to make sure the pit is not in there. And I'm going to just put these right in here with the oats and other dry ingredients. Now from here, again, if you just had a Vitamix, you don't have a food processor, you could put these in your blender separately. Pour the dry ingredients out, put them in your blender separately, and blend them up. I think that would work well. And blend in with that with your vanilla and also your apple cider vinegar that's going to be going in here as well, and then combine them. So we're going to do a teaspoon of vanilla, and then about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And the vinegar combined with the baking soda is going to kind of help these cookies rise a little bit. Now we're just going to kind of briefly, oh, I forgot the banana. We're doing banana cookies. Banana cookies. By the way, some of you, do you guys all have recipes? So I did a class for ICL last week, and I had a whole bunch of recipes left over. So it says ICL down at the bottom. And what was I going to say? Oh, and I did brownies for that class. And you guys aren't getting brownies because I did brownies for the community education class last year. Sorry if you were really looking forward to brownies. But your banana cookie recipe is on the back. But you have a bonus tonight. You have that brownie recipe. Yes.
If your recipe does not have the number 4 in it for the website down the bottom.
It doesn't?
This says Health Life Cooking.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's bad. Yeah, it's number 4. And I got lots of recipes on there too, by the way. Okay, that's good. We're going to step aside from that for just a minute. And we're going to go ahead and add our rest of our ingredients. I'm going to add about a can of, okay, so this is a larger than a can. What you want to add is like a can size, a 14.6 ounce, I think it is, to this. This is what I'm adding. What I've done with this, I love these pommy tomatoes. I love that it's in a box. I just don't like using the cans anymore. I've noticed that the tomatoes taste like the can. When you kind of get away from using it and then you go back to using cans, it tastes like the can. And I've heard for many years that tomatoes especially leach some of those metals into the tomato. These are great. They're on sale right now, I think at Natural Grocer for like $3, which is kind of a lot compared to a can of tomatoes, but they taste so much better. So anyway, I took a cup of tomatoes out for our lentil dish, and then I'm putting the rest of it in our chili. Jan, can I get you to put some water in that? And then I'm going to rinse that out with some water, just fill it up. And this is why one of the reasons why I don't add all the water right at the beginning. So that it'll cook quicker, your vegetables will cook quicker in less water. And then I can just rinse out my can or my container of tomatoes or whatever and use the water from that. And then we're going to add, oh, thank you. Then we're going to add, you know what I forgot to put in here is ginger into our, where's our wood spoon? Wood spoon?
Wood spoon?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just put that in with our cabbage. Forgot to add that. Hopefully that'll get good and cooked in there before we put that all together. Okay, back to our chili. So then we're going to put in a can of chili, or a can of tomato paste. Now I like using tomato paste for tomato sauce. Like if a recipe calls for tomato sauce, I'll get tomato paste and just add water to it. I really don't do that very often. I just use tomato paste. And that is because this tomato paste has organic tomatoes and organic tomato pulp and citric acid, 2 ingredients. I go buy tomato sauce and I'm seeing sugar, salt, natural flavors. What the heck is a natural flavor? That's my question. And I don't know. It could be anything. Yeah, it could be. MSG, you know, bug parts. I mean, you just don't know. So, well, you know, the red number 40 comes from a beetle. Did you know that? Yeah. And maybe, I don't know, maybe, I'm sure some people probably don't care. I don't really want to eat beetles. Although I'm sure they did lots of years ago. They'd eat bugs and things. Huh? They make great croutons. Bugs do, beetles. Ooh. Okay, so, and then to this, again, I'm going to add some kidney beans. I like to do kidney beans in chili occasionally. And I'm just going to add about 1.5 cups to 2 cups. Okay, now these kidney beans, I've cooked from scratch. I've taken the hard bean and I soak them in water for 24 hours and then I drain them off and put them in my crock pot and cook them for 8 hours. Overnight or while I'm at work, and they're done when I get home or they're done when I get up, and I put them in little square containers and put them in my freezer, and they're perfect. If you don't want to take time to cook your own beans, that might seem, whoa, way overwhelming, can't do that, can't go there. Canned beans are great. I have found the same thing with beans though. They kind of taste, after I've done my own beans and then I go use a can, and it depends on the brand actually. Some brands are okay. Some brands taste like the can. Usually the cheaper brands taste like the can. Okay, and then I'm going to put in a cup of mashed pinto beans or refried beans. If you've got a can of refried beans, you can add that. And I just like to add this just for extra kind of thickness. I mean, you can add just the whole bean, but I've just mashed them, just taken pinto beans and just mashed them. Then we're going to add our seasonings. I've got 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin, and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. I like using onion powder along with onion because the onion powder's just got a really good flavor. It can decrease the amount of salt that I use.
On the beans that you soak for 24 hours, do you rinse them and then put them in your crock pot?
Yes. Yeah, I soak them for 24 hours, rinse that water off. In fact, after 24 hours, I used to soak them for 8 hours, and that's good. 8 to 24 is good, and it starts to get bubbly on top. The longer you let them soak, up to about 24 hours. You don't want them to let them go much longer than that because they'll start to get kind of yucky. They'll start to smell. But they'll get bubbly on top, and then you pour that off and rinse them really good. You're getting rid of a lot of the gassy, the part of the beans that makes them kind of gassy. But the more you eat beans, the less problem that you have with that gas problem. Because what you're doing is you're building up your microbiome. Beans are one of the best ways to feed your gut. They aren't digested in the small intestine. They go into the large intestine where they're broken down. They're turned into a short-chain fatty acid called butyrate, and that feeds your microbiome, your good gut bacteria. By the way, plant foods, fiber is your gut's favorite food. When you change to a whole food plant-based diet, you're literally changing your gut. You're changing the microflora for a good, to benefit you. And the condition of your gut has a lot to do with, they're finding more and more about gut research these days. They're finding out more and more that the condition of your gut has to do with so many health aspects, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, autoimmune issues especially, depression especially. So, okay, then I'm going to put in about 1/2 cup of chopped cilantro. All right. Jan, is there a small pan? Oh, actually, hold off. Okay, we're just going to let that chili look so scrumptious. Okay, I'm going to actually add some salt to this. I do use salt. I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon. Actually, probably a little bit more than that, 1.5 teaspoons. I use real salt. Salt is salt. All salt is sodium chloride. It's all been shown to raise blood pressure. It's all, a high salt diet will increase bone loss. High salt diet is just hard on your system. Try to get it, and Dr. Joel Fuhrman, he tells you to get it out completely. I still use it. I'm really active. I feel like my bones are good and strong, and I don't have high blood pressure, so I don't worry too much about it. That is kind of the one thing that it's hard to go without salt. It just is. I've tried. Okay, I'm going to jump over here to my cabbage, and we're going to go ahead and add. So once that cabbage is all done, I better look at my recipes. I get going and talking, and I forget what I'm doing. I need to add some green chilies. I'm going to add just 1/4 cup of green chilies to this. And again, these are that same 505 brand, and you can chop up your own jalapeno if you want and use that. I forgot about my cookies. I left my cookies. All right, and then we're going to add these tomatoes, 1 cup of diced tomatoes, or these are finely chopped tomatoes. And then we're going to add our lentils. Okay, so you guys know what red lentils are? These are red lentils. You can take a closer look at those if you want. They're called red lentils, but they're actually orange lentils or pink lentils. So I'll leave those up there if you don't know what they are and you want to get a closer look at them. But I just boiled 4 cups of water, 4 or 5 cups of water, added 1.25 cups of the red lentils along with some turmeric. And just cook that. It takes about 1 hour to cook. So one thing that I do to help speed up and make plant-based cooking a little bit easier is when I'm planning to do, say, this for dinner tomorrow night, I try to think ahead. That's the key, is thinking ahead to some of the things that you can cook ahead of time that you don't need to watch. So like maybe some sweet potatoes. You can throw those in the oven and go about your business and really forget about them. I have a timer on my oven, which is really handy. I set them for 2 o'clock in the morning and they're done when I get up. So but like these lentils, like I knew that I was doing this class tonight, so last night while I'm cleaning up dinner, I put some water on to boil, throw my lentils in, put the lid on, and they cook for 1 hour. They're not really taking any time towards my dish that I'm making tonight. They're already done. So if you can just think ahead a little bit, that's going to help you. So I'm going to go ahead and add these cooked lentils, and you want to cook them for an hour. They'll cook quicker than that to the point where you can eat them, but you want, dal is a very, is red lentils cooked very softly. So it's kind of like mush. And I'm, no, it's okay. And I'm going to use this to heat it, to put some of that chili in without the wheat. So if you want to rinse that out for me. Okay, so we're just adding this in. And this may not look very good, but it's really good. Okay, and I'm going to add some salt to that. I'm going to add about a teaspoon. Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the healthier you are. We need to get beans. Beans, peas, and lentils into your diet every day. If you're familiar with the blue zones, they're the longest lived people on the planet. They live into their over 100 years old, and they thrive. They're out gardening, playing with their grandkids or whatever, in over 100 years old. And it's their common food is a plant-based diet, and the one thing they all eat every day is beans. Legumes, beans, peas, and lentils.
There's only one in the United States.
Loma Linda, California. Yep.
My wife was an RN.
What's that?
My wife was an RN.
Oh, was she?
She's been telling me about this diet for years. Start eating this.
And you've been fighting her on it, right?
Mm-hmm. Give me a steak. So I've been on this for 2 months now.
And?
I feel good. It's my brother.
Nice.
So my wife and I are both eating this way now. And so
Nice. Awesome. Good job. What about your arthritis? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It helps with everything. It may not get rid of everything, but it helps with everything. I mean, you're decreasing inflammation. You're, opening up your arteries so your blood flows better, so you're getting nutrients to every cell of your body. Your body's just loving them. All those micronutrients your body just loves. So, okay, now we're just going to let these kind of stay warm for a minute. I think this chili can probably be turned, well, we'll leave that. Is that steaming? We'll leave that off, or leave it on a little bit. Okay, we're going to finish our cookies here. So I'm going to I added my vanilla, right? And my apple cider vinegar. Okay. I'm going to add some banana. And this is probably a larger banana than I normally use, but that's what I got, so I'm just going to use the whole thing. Just break that up a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and just chop all that up. So the banana and the water that I soaked the dates with, that's in here too. We dumped the soak water. Oh, I didn't mention that. So I had my dates soaking in a half a cup of water. And the reason I do that is so they'll grind up quicker and easier. If you get a hankering for these cookies and you haven't soaked your dates yet, what you can do is grind the dry dates up with the dry ingredients and then add the water afterwards.
How long do you soak?
Like 4 hours, get them good and soft. And then you got to kind of stop it once in a while, and you want to make sure that everything, those bananas, they sometimes leave chunks. I want to make sure they are blended down good. Okay. Let's see, we don't need that anymore, or that. Thank you. We'll do that too. Did we do any? Okay. All right, so I forgot my parchment paper tonight. I always use parchment paper. I never use oil or anything, but we're going to use just a little bit of this spray, just so they're not sticking. And then we'll wipe some of that off. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take our dough. Now you could, well, first of all, when you're these desserts are they're still dessert. They're super healthy. Everything in them is whole food, plant-based, you know, everything's great about them, but they're still high fat, or fairly high fat, high calorie, high sugar. We want to be careful. If you're like me, they call me from the kitchen, and I have a hard time staying away from them. So I only make them when I have friends to share them with. So that's kind of my rule of thumb. Make these when you have some friends to share them with. She can put them in the freezer and only have like one a day, but the freezer, I still hear them. They're still calling me. So, and the thought is, they're so healthy, I'll just have one more. Oh gosh, one more is not going to hurt. Then before I know it, and it's not necessarily a weight issue, because I could stand to put on a few pounds, but it's just not good for us to eat a lot of sugar. And I mean, this is still a processed food. So.
What's your view on chocolate? Chocolate cold?
On what?
Chocolate?
Oh, you know, cocoa powder is good. It's high in antioxidants, and there's some other benefits to it, I think. I don't really know exactly, but the problem is when we combine it with sugar and oil in chocolate candy bars, even chocolate chips, although I was going to say you could add a few chocolate chips to this. I like to there's a brand out there, Lily's. Are they from Lily?
No, I wish they were.
This is Lily. But she didn't make the chocolate chips I'm talking about. Anyway, they're sweetened with stevia and erythritol, I think, which is a pretty good sweetener, and they're good. They still have oil in them, so you just want to be careful with them. If I was to put it, I'd put like 1/4 of a cup of the little tiny chocolate chips. I like to use the little chocolate chips because they get dispersed throughout the recipe better. Or you can put in the larger chocolate chips and just grind them up a little bit in your, in your cookie mix.
The minis in Lily's?
Well, I don't know.
I've never seen the minis in Lily's.
I have. It's been a long time since I bought them, actually. So they may not have the minis and the Lilies.
Can you use the cocoa powder in your cookies?
Yes, you could. Yes, you could. You could do a couple tablespoons. That would be really good. And I should have done these cookies a little bit better than this. I'm going to have to. They're not going to spread, so they're going to be okay. But I wasn't. I'll let you take that. And you can lick the bowl with this kind of cookie dough, which is really great. Because there's no eggs or anything that's going to make you sick. Just all super good stuff. All right. And having the food processor and the blender is just a super easy way, to make the cookies. Super quick and easy. Okay, we're just gonna kind of do a makeshift cookie right there. All right, these are gonna go in the oven at 350 for 15 minutes, I think. You want to tell your phone to, yeah. All right, so let's put this, we still got to do our salad dressing. So we'll do that.
Okay, your timer is set for 15 minutes.
You want to just get rid of that? Oh, is it stuck on there? There we go.
Oh, no, I can't even pull off.
Oh. So, like I said, one of the best things that you can do for your health is to eat a big leafy green salad every day. And I'm not talking this size necessarily. I mean, this would be okay. I'm talking more like this size or even bigger. This needs to be your salad. At least once a day, make it the main dish of one of your meals. And, put, some lettuce and spinach and lots of your favorite raw vegetables, some whole grains like brown rice or quinoa, some wheat berries, some beans, some peas, some lentils, just whatever you love. Make it a hearty main dish salad. But you don't want to put 500 calories of dressing on your 300 calorie salad. You want to make it just as healthy as the salad. So I'm going to show you how to do that tonight.
On the quinoa, it doesn't matter which kind, you use the tri-color.
Yeah, tricolored, you know, the antioxidants are the color in the food. So your deeper colored foods are going to have more antioxidants in them. And I'm glad you brought that up because antioxidants, I haven't talked about that. We all know what happens to an apple when we cut it open and lay it on the counter for several hours. It starts to turn brown. That's oxidation. Scientists believe that we get 10,000 oxidative hits a day. That comes from our environment, chemicals in the atmosphere, food that we eat. Exercise causes oxidation. Being alive causes oxidation. We need to eat lots of antioxidants. They're found in only plant foods. So a high abundance in those colorful foods. So, okay, so salad dressing. What I've got here, again, pre-planning just a little bit helps. If you've got a strong blender like a Vitamix or a Blendtec, you can just throw everything in and blend it up and it'll work just fine. It works better though if you can soak it. So what I've got going on here is I've got dates because I want some sugar in this. I want a little bit of sweetener in this. If you look at your bottle of salad dressing at the grocery store, you're going to see sugar in them, most all of them, even ones that aren't very sweet. And so this is going to be a vinegar, creamy tahini, and it's got a kind of a vinegar base. So what I've got going here is I've got my dates that have been soaking in the vinegar, the half cup of vinegar, and I've actually doubled the recipe, so we have plenty. And then I've added for some creaminess, and the dates are going to help to thicken this and make it a little bit creamy, but we're going to add a little bit extra creaminess, a little extra flavor by adding some sesame seeds and some sunflower seeds. And I've actually cut my original recipe, which is half of your recipe sheets. Half of your recipe sheets say, they're from the other night, say 3 tablespoons of sesame seeds, 2 tablespoons of sunflower seeds. I've actually cut back on that a little bit. And I forgot to change it in my prior class. And then I remembered for this class. So some of them have that. So anyway, if you've got 2 and 3, change that to 1 and 2. If that makes sense. Okay, just because I'm trying to cut back on fats in foods. Just because I get a lot of people, I'm trying to lose weight and I can't. And you know, I think it might be the nuts and seeds. And anyway, so that's something that could be keeping you from losing weight, is eating too many nuts and seeds. But I like to add a little bit because they're nutrient dense. Seeds are very good. Sesame seeds especially are super high in calcium. They're one of the highest calcium foods. In fact, they are. They are the food with the most calcium. Oh, thank you. Sesame seeds. Okay, so, and I've got them soaking in the vinegar. I've only got a half a cup of water in here because I'm going to have Jan put about a half a cup of water in there or more, and we're going to rinse that out. Yes. I hate wasting, you know. Okay. And now I'm going to try to blend this without it popping up all over and getting, of course there's enough in here that it probably won't matter.
So then, just to be clear, you soaked it in the vinegar and the water?
I put a half a cup of water, so I doubled this recipe. So I have a cup of vinegar and a half a cup of water, and then she added I keep some of the water out so that I can use it to kind of rinse out my jar, or when I blend this, a lot of times the seeds will pop up on the sides and it'll kind of be a mess. Then I've got some, I can get some water and squirt it down and clean it up without adding too much extra water. And technically you could add more water to this because after it sits in the refrigerator overnight, it gets really thick. Because the fibers in the seeds, they thicken this dressing really well. In fact, you could spread it on a piece of bread or dip veggies in it. It gets so thick. I don't even need that. You know what you can do is start putting some salad on plates. Just like a little bit of, just a scoop. Yeah, a nice scoop of salad. We got probably plenty of lettuce. Let's see, how many do we have? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So another advantage of soaking those things before is this blender will get hot. And so if you have to blend it long enough, like if your ingredients are hard, your dates and your seeds, you're going to have to blend this probably too long to where it's going to get hot. And if you end up having to do that, just leave, like I say, leave some of the water out, and that way you can throw in some ice cubes to cool it down. That's kind of what I do in a pinch if I have to hurry and throw a salad dressing together fairly quickly. So. All right, so we're going to just have this on a leafy green, just a plain leafy green salad with some orange, some chopped up oranges on it. I have done a salad with some avocado and red onion as well, just to simplify the whole serving thing for 25 people. I wanted to keep it fairly simple. So we're just doing just some romaine lettuce and some orange. And we'll just let you guys actually put that on. I'm going to put that in this bowl. See how nice and thick that looks? It's yummy, yummy, yummy.
How long does that store in the refrigerator?
You know, it'll keep for a couple weeks at least. The trick is having a salad every day and using it within 3 or 4 days. Or the goal is, I guess, is what I'm saying. The thing with this is as it sits, the fibers kind of swell and it gets kind of goopy, like it'll kind of goopy around the side and you have to kind of stir it and mix it in together. But as far as it keeping well, it doesn't go bad or anything. Okay, so let me grab a scoop in here real quick. Let me get out that. So I'm just going to add some of this chili over here without the wheat berries. So my wheat berries, the reason I like to use wheat berries is because, you know, a lot of people are doing gluten-free, and that can be good. But, you know, gluten is wheat protein. We're so kind of obsessed with protein. Why are we leaving one of the best proteins out? And it's because a lot of people are sensitive to it. If you are sensitive to it, leave it out. But if you're not, eat wheat. Wheat's good for you. It's a good source of protein, good fiber. It's one of the more nutrient-rich grains. And these wheat berries, what I did with them, and you don't have to sprout them, it's just something I like to do. I hardly ever make this chili with the sprouted wheat berries because it takes a few days to sprout the berries. But just to kind of introduce you to the sprouting idea, if you don't already know, what you do is you take your whole wheat berry, your wheat grain, and you soak it in water for 8 hours to probably 24 hours, drain it off, leave it sitting on the counter for a couple of days, and it'll start to grow. And when you sprout a grain, you're exploding the nutritional value of that grain, of that seed. Anything that you're starting to grow, you're starting that germination process, which is really great. And it's making it easier to digest and just more nutrient rich. So I let those soak or sprout for a day or two, and then I'm cooking them. So I just cook them like you would rice till they're nice and soft and chewy. And they're perfect. And they're great on a salad or whatever. They just add some nice crunch. So I'm going to add a little bit of quinoa to this one. All right. All right, and we've got our lentil dal over here. And I think for just simplifying serving, what we're going to do is add some of the rice just to this rather than try to do rice on the plate and then top it with that. We're just going to add the rice right into this. I probably didn't need to do that much rice. Yeah, yeah. So we're going to have you guys, just rather than try to serve all you, because that takes a little time and things get cold as we try to get them out to you, we're just going to have you guys come up and help yourself. Yes, that would be great. Well, maybe we'll just keep that in there. Okay.
I think we have a short handle scooper.
That's okay. All right, so we'll put the chili out there. And we'll put this, the quinoa one down there. And I think if we, there's like 25, did you count 24? 24 of you, so where's that little, oh. I think we'll be good if we start with like a scoop for each of you, and then if you feel like you didn't get enough, you can come back and get a little bit more. Just make sure we have plenty for everybody. Wait, how are our cookies doing? Are they burning? I've already got the cookies made ahead of time, so okay. I'd put a little bit too much rice in that, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. Let's see, we'll get some spoons and make the bowls. Oh, did I mention that I have orange? I'll let you guys put on the orange on the salad. Do we have any more spoons? Did I use all the spoons? Oh, large spoon. There we go. We'll just let you guys put some orange on your salad if you want it, or on your lettuce. It's not much of a salad. What's that? Just enough to taste. I'm not gonna be fancy. I'll just leave the forks out here. All right, if you guys want to come up, let's start with the front row. You guys can come up and grab some. And those that are doing, oh, let's see, those are good. Hopefully those aren't. Oh. That one over there. Oh, let's see. I guess we didn't leave any room on the plate for. I guess we kind of did. You can just scoot your salad over a little bit to put the lentil stuff on there. I didn't think about that. We got this lentil stuff to serve on there. Let's see, we'll put that. I'm going to scoot some of that salad over. A what? Oh. Oh, yes. I guess we need spoons. Sorry about that. Spoons for the chili. Let's see. I'm going to just push some of that lettuce over so we can get some of that Indian stuff on there for you. I didn't have anybody taste stuff. Oh, are they? Yeah, another minute or two. Yeah. I guess you guys can push that.
Okay, your timer is set for 2 minutes.
Move these over to the. You bet. You guys can come on down and get in line if you want.
It's delicious.
I hope it tastes as good as it smells.
I'm so excited to be able to eat it. 'Cause I always had minutes and
Uh-huh.
get one a little taste, and then I'd have to.
Go home and get the EpiPen or whatever.
Let my husband taste it to make sure he was.
Let's see, we'll get rid of that. I guess I should get out my cookies. The quinoa chili is over there. Yeah.
I've never seen a jar like this.
Oh, I know.
So cool.
Yeah. I don't know where I got those.
So is it true that what they sell in the store as yams are really sweet potatoes?
From what I understand, all sweet potatoes are sweet potatoes. Like yams, they don't grow in this country. That's what I heard.
We don't get them here.
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
Still a difference in them. There's still a difference.
That was
Yeah.
my next question. Is there a difference between the yellow sweet potatoes and the...
Yeah, the yellow ones are much higher in nutrients, in like beta carotene and some of those carotenoid antioxidants.
The
They're
yellow
more
or-
the yellow. I mean, well, the orange.
Oh,
the orange are more
okay.
nutrient dense.
Okay.
Too. I noticed they had rice vinegar on here. I love rice vinegar, and almost everything says apple cider vinegar. So
Oh,
what do you think about
right. I think apple cider vinegar is more. It's stronger, so just use less if you're using apple cider vinegar.
Is there one that's better than the other for your health?
Apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar, I think, is better because it's got. I think it's more of a. It's got the mother in it. It's got the probiotic effect, I think, in it. A little bit that it is. I should have had these out. Yeah, you can take some cookies. These have walnuts. These are hemp seeds. So if you have a problem with nuts or whatever, you can.
Perfect, April. So good.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Glad you could come.
Yeah, I am too. Oh, that's you.
And bringing husband is always a good thing.
Right? Well, he's my cook.
Oh,
I just signed him up, and Tyson's like, no, you need to go too, because she'll do samples. And I'm like, okay. So.
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sure you're a good cook.
You know what? It also helps me to come to these classes because when people call and want to
Yeah.
sign up, I'll be like, oh, I just went to that class.
Yeah.
It's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
that
get
is good.
close. I'd like to have Cindy and Carly come.
Yeah, they should. Totally should. Yeah. These have the hemp seeds and these are walnuts if you have any allergy issues.
Okay, we're good? Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Let's move those down a little bit.
I've got a question. Are these classes going to be filled or can I thought, like I said, the way it looked in the book, it looked like.
Yeah, the book it was really benign. I thought it was just one class.
Yeah, we've had that question before and I told her I need to put something in there that indicates that I don't want to put recipes on there that saying that we're going to do this and this on this night and this and this on this because then I can't change it, you know.
Right.
But they need to put in there a different menu each class or something.
But are the classes filled now or can I still register?
I think so. I don't think they're full. The last time I looked, the other 3 classes aren't full.
Okay, well, I can ask them.
Yeah, we'll
So.
find out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not.
Well, this is my 3rd class with you, and little by little I'm trying this, and I was just telling my neighbors, my travel buddy and I went up to Bryce and to Lake Powell for 9 days, and we were determined we were not going to eat out because the food is terrible. and expensive. So we pack stuff in our car, and hotels have a little microwave and a little fridge, and we ate yams and bags of salad.
Nice.
And just had juices in the morning. I took like a shaker jar. It wasn't a blender, but so little by
Nice.
little,
Good job. Good job.
trying, we're
That's
trying
good
to-
job.
get on board here.
Well, you want to feel good all the time, even when you're on vacation. So, I've often had family, say, "Oh, you're on vacation. Live a little." I'm like,
Yeah, like, no, live a
I
little.
am living a
Go back to
lot.
your room and just make something good at the microwave and the
Yeah.
fridge,
Oh yeah. Yep.
That was my big discovery. This looks so good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this was pretty good.
Yeah.
I wish I had a facility like this. I'll have to see if I can't.
Yeah.
finagle
Well, maybe you
something
can.
up there,
Yeah.
Because, we got Weber State, which isn't too far away.
Yeah. They've got to have something,
You
I would
think, huh?
imagine.
Are you missing the salad?
No.
Oh.
I remodeled mine.
Those of you who didn't get a cookie, I didn't have them out at first. I think the front row probably didn't get a cookie. They're up here.
You didn't bring your cookbooks, huh?
Well, no, I can't. It's community education, so you kind of have to not promote your own stuff,
Sure.
I think it's okay to mention the website. Oh,
Which are which?
these are the hemp seeds. These are the walnuts. And from what I understand, these taste the same. Hemp seed walnuts.
Where would you like our garbage?
Oh, the garbage is right here. I'm not sure if that's garbage or not. I think that's recycle.
Hemp seeds, you said.
Hemp seed, yep, and these are walnuts.
Thank you.
You bet.
Just try this one.
And if you got somebody you can split with, then you can try a little of each. You like it? Awesome. Walnuts, yep, hemp seeds. The hemp seeds look a little green. For some reason, they have a little green tint to them. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe there's some of that green leafy in there. Oh, where's my... Is there a glass over here? I need some water. Huh?
What do we forget to put the lemon in?
Oh, the salad dressing. Oh, shoot.
We kept it all on the side so you didn't spill.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about that. I'll have to ask him. So how's the salad dressing, you guys? Is it good? I forgot the lemon juice. You like it, though? It doesn't need the lemon juice. You got orange on your salad, so you don't need it. I had it sitting back on the counter, and I totally forgot about it. Oh, well. Everything taste okay to you? The chili too spicy or not spicy enough or no? Perfect. What's that? You want the rest of the cookies? That's the best part of the night, right? It's the best part of the meal, dessert.
One thing I've discovered with the plant-based diet, if I don't like the flavor of it, sriracha will make it great.
Yeah, you can usually fix your mistakes. I'll tell you one thing I made one time was a stuffing, like a stuffing dressing for Thanksgiving, for the holidays, and it was a cornbread stuffing, and I made it. My family was coming over, and luckily somebody else was bringing stovetop stuffing, and so anyway, my stuffing didn't turn out. It was really watery, and I was like, what? I mean, there's a whole pan. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? I turned it into a soup. And it added a bunch of vegetables, had some broth. My husband's like, this is the best soup you've ever made. I was like, well, good, sorry, I can't duplicate it. Yeah. Oh, anyway, well, thanks so much for you guys for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Just remember, the best gift you can give to yourself and your family, your loved ones, is a healthy you. And the more of this you do, the healthier you're going to be. And I just encourage you to educate yourself some more. I don't think I've got any resources listed on that handout that I have, but I do have information over there. And check out nutritionfacts.org. That's a great source. And go to my website. I've got lots of websites listed there. I've got YouTube videos. Actually, my videos from this class are on there, and I'm starting to do again some more videos in my home, just my own self doing just little short videos. I've got a few on there as well, so check them out. And come again. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here February, March, and April, all 3 months during the semester. So we'll be doing, as we get closer to spring, I'll be doing some salads and springy stuff, and some casseroles probably next month, I think. So,
Delicious.
thank you.